take a look at the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. They have lost 7 of their last 11. Not scoring a lot here, under 3 runs per game over their last 7. Fowler, Bryant, Zobrist 1 through 3. Rizzo, Soler, Montero occupy the middle. Javier Baez gets a start at 3rd. Addison Russell's had a tough trip. He's batting 8th. And the former Cardinal John Lackey hits 9th.
Cardinals defensively are deployed thusly. Holiday, Grichuk, Piscotty, left, center, right. This club has made a Major League worst 39 errors. Aledmys Diaz, the rookie, has really struggled. He's committed 10 errors at shortstop. He's joined on the left side of the infield by Matt Carpenter. Wong and Moss second, first. Yadier Molina's won 8 consecutive Gold Gloves. He's the catcher tonight in the Lexus Pursuing Perfection. Starting pitcher is the big right-hander Adam Wainwright, 34 years of age, 6'7", 235. He's made 9 starts. Really struggled early on, starting to put it together. 4-3 now with an ERA of 5.92. Strikeout rate is way down. His ground ball percentage is way down. When you think of Wainwright, you think about that sinker, curveball, a lot of ground balls, a strike thrower.
So you see the umpiring crew. And Wainwright has been winning lately, but still giving up runs. But coming off his best start of the season against the Rockies. And he's set to work, and here we go. A strike called on Fowler. That OBP of 435, that is the lowest it's been all year. That's how great he has been.
He got off to such a good start, and you know, there's no way it'd be impossible to sustain the numbers that he was putting up. Well, the batting average coming down some, but he's still having good at bats for the most part. Just about everybody struggling on this trip.
1-2. Cubs are 29-13. 5.5 up on the Pirates, who won earlier today. Cardinals are 7 back. They're just 12-13 at home.
Yeah, they had tied for the best home record in all of baseball last year with the Dodgers. They only lost 26 home games all last year, so they're halfway there already.
2-2 Fowler lifts it in the air out into left center. It will be Randall Grichuk for the first out. Cubs won 2 of 3 here in April, including the NLDS last October. The Cubs have won the last 4 series between these 2 clubs. Here's Chris Bryant batting second.
And he's one of the Cub hitters who is not struggling on this trip. 292 on the trip for Bryant, 7 out of 24 with 3 long ones.
2 homers in San Francisco included. Chris is playing right with Baez at third, and that one got in on him and caught the bat for a foul ball. We want to welcome all our viewers watching on RTC in Rochester, Indiana tonight. Big leg kick in the 0-1 is softly hit on the ground to Colton Wong. 2 up, 2 down, and it'll bring up Ben Zobrist.
Pretty good work there by Wainwright. Starts Chris up and in with a fastball. Some life in on the hands, then goes to the cutter away to get the weak ground ball.
Ben, over his last 29 games, hitting .373. Ton of walks. Nearly hit a game-tying home run in the 9th inning yesterday in San Francisco. And Santiago Casilla. But Denard Span caught it on the warning track. Here's the 0-1 outside. John Lackey was terrific here in April, facing his former club. He'd love to have a run or 2 before he takes the ball tonight. And Zobrist will give Rizzo that opportunity with a 2-out single.
Talking with a couple of scouts yesterday, and they're just marveling over the play of Ben Zobrist. They're saying they think he's the Cubs' most valuable player. Not only just the production, the way he's performing, but the versatility, the fact that he allows Joe to move other guys around. And Chris Bryant obviously is doing that too. So you can move other guys around, and you're not sacrificing. You still, no matter where you put Zobrist, and he's played second base almost every day. But with Hayward getting hurt, he's had to move into the outfield.
I think the offensive versatility, right? The fact he's a switch hitter. You can hit him lead off, second. He's hitting third tonight. He has mostly provided protection for Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant.
Yeah, now with the club struggling a little bit, Joe starting to mess around with his lineup a little bit. He's got KB second here today. Zobrist third, Rizzo fourth.
Ball one on Anthony. Just one for his last 25. We talked to Joe before the game. He said likes the effort, likes the at-bats. Said just we're not winning as much as we had earlier. So he doesn't have any sort of issues with how this team is playing.
Yeah, and I think, he talks about playing the game. He's talking about fielding, base running, decision making, those kinds of things, and he thinks his guys are still very sharp. Hitting rises and falls. Teams go through slumps, and they're just in a funk right now offensively. So as long as if you're not chasing a bunch of pitches out of the zone, you're still hanging in there, battling in your at bat, sooner or later it will turn around.
So he grounds out to Wong to end the inning. Cardinals coming up against John Lackey. Slugging .464 as a group. Matt Carpenter and Aledmys Diaz are a huge part of that. Holiday in left, Piscotty in right in the cleanup spot. Brandon Moss homered yesterday. He's at first. Yadier Molina hit his first of the year a couple of days ago. Grichuk's in center, Wong at second, and Adam Wainwright 4 hits, all extra base knocks.
Cubs defensively, Soler, Fowler, Bryant. Left, center, right. Third to first will go Baez, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo. Miguel Montero behind the plate, and the Lexus starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight is the big righty John Lackey. Boy, he's been awfully good. A 1.86 ERA here in the month of May. For the year, 4-2, 3.31. 54 and a third. He's allowed just 41 hits. Very good strikeout to walk ratio. League hitting .217 against them.
You can do the whip right there, right? 53 hits and walks in 54 innings, so that's terrific. And as Carpenter digs in, Comcast Xfinity Homes currently experiencing some technical difficulties with CSN HD channel 201. This game is also available in standard definition on CLTV. Go to your on-screen channel guide or online csnchicago.com for channel locations in your area. So they are working to fix those problems, and we appreciate your patience. Lackey's 1-1. Carpenter hits it hard on a bounce to a backhanding Zobrist, who will throw him out.
Lackey typically very aggressive, throws first pitch strikes about 70% of the time. He has a lot of clean innings with that approach. In 6 of his 8 starts, he's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer. He had 2 clunkers. Other than that, he's been brilliant.
Well, the Cardinals lost Johnny Peralta in spring training with a left thumb injury. That gave Aledmys Diaz an opportunity, and he has taken full advantage. He's committed 10 errors defensively, but offensively has been on fire. And had been mostly a bottom of the order hitter until very recently moved up to the 2 spot. They put Piscotty in the cleanup spot. He had been hitting second.
And Johnny Peralta out on a rehab assignment, due back Sometime in early June. Mike Matheny's going to have to find a way to keep this kid involved.
Called strike 3. And Diaz, Peralta, Carpenter, they can all play other positions, so you might see some movement defensively on their infield when Peralta's back.
Well, Laredo dropped down heater at 94 miles an hour.
Here's Matt Holliday. And he fouls off.
And he does because of his aggressive approach, he being Lackey. He gets a lot of first pitch swings, more than anybody in the league, as a matter of fact.
Matt 0 for his last 11. As he waits on an 0-1 and fouls down the right field line. Game winning home run in the first inning off Kyle Hendricks. That was April 20th here as the Cardinals won the game 5-3 and avoided the series sweep. He doesn't slug quite like he used to. Still a dangerous hitter. Takes his walks. 1 and 2.
And batting average has been falling of late. There's 2 out of his last 27.
And he went around, and Lackey spins a 1-2-3 opening inning. 0-0 after 1. Cardinals. Jorge Soler will lead off. Batting 5th in the Cubs batting order. Been in a nice stretch as of late. In terms of Jason Hayward, sounds like he'd like to have played tonight as Soler bounces out to Colton Wong. But I really think Joe's going to remain pretty cautious with Hayward, particularly with an off day Thursday. So I'm guessing this weekend will be his return. Friday, the unbelievable catch in the first inning. Looked like a shoulder, a collarbone, who knows what. Fortunately, he suffered a bruise kind of in the right rib cage area. And very fortunate.
Yeah, the way his head went into the wall, that looked like it could be a neck issue.
Montero fouls.
Yeah, so when we got the word the next day, 3 to 5 days, that was tremendous news. And as normally is the case, the players pushing to get back, and the manager's like, let's just kind of slow things down a little bit, make sure.
That caught the outside corner. Montero not so sure of the call by Manny Gonzalez. Let's see what Menard's pitch tracks thinks.
Molina set up way off the plate. He gives Gonzalez a good look at it, and a justifiable strike call.
Breaking ball is hit into left on the ground, so no 2 mistake by Wainwright. And Montero is on.
Well, he goes the same way as Zobrist. The backdoor breaker, keeps his nose in there and shoots it the other way.
A reminder, Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Javier Baez 2 for his last 29. 78 degrees as we got started. Looking at the flags, the wind does not appear to be in play. Big night here in downtown St. Louis. The Blues are hosting the Sharks in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final of the NHL playoffs. As Baez sends a fly ball to left, Holliday will make the catch. Is it Scott Trade Center?
I believe it is.
Right
yes.
Down the street. There's the struggling Addison Russell on the trip, 1 for 20 with 12 strikeouts. Wainwright working on a scoreless streak against the Cubs dating back to 2014. 24 innings and counting.
He only made 4 starts for the Cardinals last year before tearing his Achilles. One of those was against the Cubs, and it was very good. Scoreless baseball to keep that streak alive.
We saw him in relief in the division series against the Cubs.
He's 12-7 in his career against the Cubs. He's been far better against the Cubs at Wrigley than he has been here in his home ballpark.
Fastball is inside. And it's 2-1. Bounce to third. Carpenter to end the inning. Cubs with 2 hits early, but no runs.
Here in St. Louis. Welcome back with your Coors Light in-game report. John Lackey, of course, facing his former team tonight for the 2nd time. So I had a chance to catch up with David Ross today and ask him, does it get any easier facing your former team in your former ballpark? And he said, you know what? Not really. It actually gets tougher the more you do it. Not mentally, but the fact that you start to show them the few tricks you have left up your sleeve. And of course, they want to get after you, being former teammates and all. And guys, one guy who spoke about that before the game, Randall Grichuk, said he did not get to go against Lackey the first time around and can't wait to do it tonight. He said if we can see some of that emotion that he's so known for, we know we're doing something right. So we'll see what Lackey has up the sleeve for his former teammates tonight.
Thank you, Kelly. He was really good here in April. He has now beaten all 30 major league teams.
That was 7 shutout innings in that game. He struck out 11. One shy of his career high. Only had 1 walk, allowed 4 hits.
Stephen Piscotty takes ball 1 inside. 106 big league games over the last 2 seasons. And he's hit .318. Getting on base at a .379 clip and slugging over .500. A sizzling start to his career. 1-1. Fouled away. Some people, when they look at this Cardinal team, kind of this mediocre start, say wait till Peralta gets back. And what that does to their lineup and defensively.
Well, it's got to help defensively because Diaz struggles, and again, that's going to be the challenge for Matheny. If Diaz continues to swing the bat well, he's going to find playing time for him. Maybe he'll get some starts at second base, and they can ease Peralta back into the situation at short. Their biggest issue for me is pitching. Their starting pitching is way off from what they did last year.
Piscotty strikes out. The other part of it is Alex Reyes, a right-hander, is their top pitching prospect. He just finished a 50-game marijuana suspension, so he made his AAA 2016 debut yesterday. He could be in the mix not too far down the road, although it may be as a reliever. They may do the start him in the bullpen and then next year make him a starter thing.
Yeah, it's kind of been part of the program here for a number of years. That's how they worked Wainwright in at the beginning of his career.
Oh, 2 on Brandon Moss. So John Lackey has beaten all 30 major league teams. Brandon Moss has homered against all 30 major league teams.
Well, Matt Adams on the bench tonight, the other option at first base, and Adams has really been tearing up right-handed pitching of late. I'm surprised he's not in the lineup. Moss has seen Lackey a little bit. He's 4 out of 11 against him.
Swing and a miss. Strike
everybody out.
Is he ever? 4 in a row for John Lackey. Time for our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. In the overall, it's been great. I mean, they've got the best starter ERA in the major leagues. You know about Arrieta? Hamill suffered his first loss of the season earlier on this trip. John Lester didn't get out of the third on Saturday. Kyle Hendricks made one mistake last night, and that was it. And it was to the pitcher, Madison Bumgarner. But aside from that pitch, he was terrific. Yeah,
he was the walk to Blanco ahead of the Bumgarner double was an issue for Kyle. And yeah, he elevated a pitch up to Bumgarner, and he whacked it into the left field corner to drive in the only run of the ball game.
Well, Lackey is dialed in, isn't he? He has thrown 23 pitches, 17 for strikes. As he works to his former battery mate, and he just struck him out. Oh my goodness. He threw 3 pitches out of the zone in that entire inning. Strikes out the side. Has fanned 5 in a row. 0-0. Adam Wainwright back to work against John Lackey. As we start the third, and a strike painted on the outside edge. Lifts on a curve. It's 0-2.
Both these pitchers like to work quickly, get the ball, get back on the rubber, get their sign, and get after it.
Wainwright thought he had him. Swing and a miss. He got him for Wainwright's first strikeout, but the story for John Lackey, 5 consecutive strikeouts after a ground out to start the game.
Yeah, and you see the breaking ball very sharp. A little slide piece there. That was funky, whatever that was. Changeup, I'm guessing. You saw him drop down. The velocity's been good, 94 miles an hour at times. He's one of those guys. He comes out of that bullpen. He's ready to roll. There's no easing into it for Lackey.
Ball 1 on Fowler.
If he was a horse race, you'd say he's got early speed.
Makeup game earlier today. The Pirates beat the Rockies 6-3. But the game itself became rather unimportant after Ryan Vogelsong got hit by a fastball near the left eye. As we check out our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball, this is hard to watch. Jordan Lyles' pitch up and in on Vogelsong.
It had to be carted off the field, but he was conscious and looked like he was going to be okay. But man, that is scary.
Lucas Duda is going to miss some time with the Mets. Lower back stress fracture. Clayton Kershaw will pitch for the Dodgers, and they need innings out of him tonight. He went 17 in a win at San Diego yesterday. Josh Hamilton done for the year. He'll have knee surgery. He never did play even one game with Texas. That is a fair ball as Moss will take it to the bag. Kevin Kiermaier of the Rays, 8 to 10 weeks. He's got a broken left hand.
Alex Gordon's got a broken bone in his hand.
A lot of injuries here. Two down. It's Chris Bryant. So for Josh Hamilton, it will be his 3rd left knee operation in a calendar year. He's 35 years old. Next year is the final year of his 5-year deal that he had signed with the Angels. He has to be wondering if he's ever going to make it back.
Yeah.
One. Bryant. It's a top spin line drive right to Matt Holliday to end the inning. Midway in the third, 0-0. Bottom 3. Lackey and Wainwright battling here tonight.
A couple of big right-handers getting after it.
Grichuk off to a slow start. Recently dealt with some back issues, but he made a game-turning catch against the Cubs on April 20th. He took away a home run from Anthony Rizzo. Would have been a 2-run shot. And we showed you earlier the Holiday home run. That was in the bottom of that first inning. So instead of being down 2-0, the Cardinals went up 2-0 and ended up winning the game. It's that ball hard, knocked down and deflected by Zobrist, and Grichuk has a hit. First one for the Cards tonight.
Sharply struck, been able to get leather on it, but couldn't secure the baseball. Otherwise, he would have had time to get up and throw him out.
Now Wong, the second baseman. And going back to the Peralta impending return, it does, as he got hit by that pitch, and now they've got 2 on, nobody out for Adam Wainwright. Will create some redundancies on the infield and add some more depth to this roster as Wong got hit on the front knee.
Well, first time that Lackey has had to make a pitch out of the stretch tonight. That one gets away from him, and now Wainwright steps up there, presumably to bunt, but he can really handle a bat, so you got to be careful here. Rizzo likes to really charge aggressively on this play. He might be a little less aggressive with Wainwright.
He's already knocked in 6 runs. And he takes a strike. He's got 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run.
It's like a quarterback there surveying the defense, trying to find a soft spot.
Well, Wainwright is just a good player. He's won a couple of Gold Gloves for his defense. You see he's a career 200 hitter. And Lackey will take the out at first. Baez in at third, everybody else back. And a strike.
See, Wainwright bunts us right back to Lackey sharply. Yeah, he had to play at third base if he wanted it, no doubt.
Carpenter comes in with the lowest batting average of his career, but the highest OPS because he's walking and hitting for power.
Yeah, he's changed the stroke a little bit. We've talked about the Cubs and how good they are at getting the ball in the air. They don't hit the ball on the ground. They have the lowest ground ball rate in the league. Well, Carpenter's become that guy too. He's more of a, when he first came in the league, was a line drive hitter. He's hitting for more power, hitting the ball over the wall more frequently, pulling the ball much more often. Always been a good 2-strike hitter. And a very good situational hitter. And so he's a guy that he came into the league with a certain profile, and we talked about how he's made some changes, but he's a guy in this situation who's going to be willing to cut down his stroke, try to put the ball in play.
Sounds like a catcher they've had for over a decade, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One, two. Well, Lackey with 5 strikeouts against the first 9 hitters. Would love another one here. Diaz on deck. So you've got a base open. You don't have to give in, but you've got a guy next who's hitting about 350.
Could have been just a little inside, maybe. Yeah, there are a lot of hitters in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
You just tease the edge, you throw them that strike to ball breaking pitch they're going to offer. I'm not saying Carpenter won't, but he's very disciplined. There are a number of hitters you could beat with a bad pitch in this situation because they get greedy with a couple guys in scoring position. So one behind in the count. That's the pitch mix for Lackey, and you know he uses all of his pitches. Doesn't use the changeup that much, but fastball, slider, curve.
And he walked him, so he would not give in. And neither would Carpenter.
Yeah, 2 stubborn cats right there. Lackey didn't want to throw a cookie over the middle of the plate, and Carpenter wasn't going to swing at John's pitch.
Here's the rookie Diaz, right at 350. Came in 4th in the majors in batting average. He has already been a 2 wins above replacement offensive player in 41 games. Big spot here for Lackey. Bases loaded, 1 out. And with an offense not scoring a lot of runs, becomes even bigger.
Yeah, so let's talk it over, make sure we're on the same page here.
John's last start, the Cubs won the game 2-1. He got a no decision. That was the 13-inning game. That's low. 2 starts ago, he lost to the Padres 1-0. So there hasn't been big margin for error.
And 2 starts before that one, the Cubs failed to score while he was in the game. So got great run support early, but not so much here in the month of May.
(1-0) hit in the air. Soler coming in. Grichuk ready to tag. Catch is made. Here comes the throw to the plate. It'll be cut off by Baez, and the Cardinals lead 1-0 on the Diaz sacrifice fly.
Now, high fly ball gives Soler plenty of time to settle in behind this one, and he didn't really get behind it and get a lot of momentum coming into that throw.
So what's left is runners at first and second, and the batter is Holiday. He cuts and misses.
Sometimes the nature of the fly ball is such that you just don't have time to get behind it, but that one was in the air long enough, and we've seen Jason Hayward make that play on a number of occasions already where he's got a full head of steam coming into it as he makes that catch.
Holiday held that time 1-1.
Yeah, he's kind of drifting towards center field. He's licking the fingers, getting the hand ready, but he continues to drift towards center field.
Yep.
And he's off center as he catches that ball, so he's got to square his shoulders, and he doesn't have any momentum coming into the throw.
One and two. Here was Hayward.
So, so there's a work in progress, and Hayward's a multiple Gold Glove winner.
Yeah, this was in April.
As he sets up and heaves that one home.
1 ball and 2 strikes. A little quick pitch. 2-2. So Lackey varying his delivery there from the stretch. Just a little slide step. Yep. Everything in this sequence down, down, down.
And they've been staying away from Holiday. The book on Holiday used to be hard stuff in, breaking pitches off the plate. The spin that stayed on the plate, he would crush.
Well, they stayed in that area, down and away, and they get Holiday. Cardinals grab the lead, though. It's 1-0. 1-0 St. Louis. Cubs are 2-4 to start this 9-game road trip. Ben Zobrist takes a curveball up and away from the Brunswick, Georgia native Adam Wainwright. Story's been told a few times. Zobrist from Eureka, Illinois, grew up a Cardinal fan. But then again, his manager grew up a Cardinal fan in Pennsylvania. Once you put on that Cub uniform, it's a different story. Sinker misses the outside, and it's 2-1.
Ben was not heavily recruited. He was not drafted out of high school, was not heavily recruited out of high school to play college ball. Started at Olivet Nazarene.
And he turns on one and lines into right.
And then on to Dallas Baptist before being drafted by the Astros in the 6th round. And now he's just the best baseball player in the world. I mean, he's on base every time. It's unbelievable. It's like Roy Hobbs. Shift, don't shift. Doesn't matter.
So, we go back to kind of the big picture stuff. You talked about Anthony Rizzo as the main ingredient. Maybe gets overlooked at times. And I agree with you. I think what Zobrist kind of represents is a little bit of a different approach for this offense. Fewer strikeouts, still taking a lot of walks. He takes off for second. And in the shift, it is Carpenter to throw out Rizzo. I think what Ben does best is all the stuff that we talk about this team does better this year. That is play defense, run the bases, make more contact, and have defensive versatility, right?
Yeah, so every night you run out 8 position players out there. So 1/8 of that now is this guy that brings all those things to the table. So it's certainly going to help the overall package. And you've got some other guys. Rizzo's that kind of a guy. He walks more than he strikes out. Hayward's a patient hitter. But yeah, there's just there's been a little change in the mix, and he's the most glaring example, I think, of that change.
Yep. Curve taken for a strike.
See, when Anthony's right, when he's in a groove, I don't think you play hit and run with him. You just want him to sit back and try to drive the ball. But when he's struggling, he's been hitting the ball on the ground a lot lately. It makes sense to start a base runner. Maybe Anthony's able to score one through an open hole. The shift has been eating him up lately. Managers with struggling hitters a lot of times like to put on a hit and run play because it takes the thinking out of it. Just, hey, we're running and you're swinging. Even if they just gave away 90 visors, they would be like, they'd have to be made out of money to justify.
Shot foul.
It's like a miracle. We're going to 90 visors to the first 5,000 people. Everybody gets to wear the visor for like 7 pitches, and you pass it along. Are visors a 90s thing?
I guess so. Throw to second close, but Zoe got back in.
Yeah, Wainwright's always been good at controlling the running game, especially for a big right-hander. Of course, you got Molina behind the plate, and he's the best thrower of his generation, so that certainly helps. But normally 6'7" right-handers are easy to run against. That's not the case with Wainwright.
Oh, he got hit. And that was a fastball or a cutter that got away from him. Sinker.
It's a two-seamer, yeah. And he set the tone. First time through the order, he was working that fastball in. And these are some interesting splits here for Wainwright against the Cubs in his career. Far better in his starts at Wrigley than here in his home ballpark. About a run and a half better at Wrigley than here.
Montero went around. Similar spot, but he took that one at 93. 4-1, 1-1.
A little more life on that fastball for Wainwright than I anticipated. I was looking at his numbers earlier today. He's averaging about 89, 90 miles an hour with the heater.
On the corner. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties Comcast and Xfinity homes are experiencing with CSN HD channel 201. This game is on CLTV as well. And check your on-screen channel guide. CSNChicago.com for channel locations in your area. Although, if you can see us right now, that's good. Stay right where you are.
Yeah, Len said to change the channel. We better
change it. If you can hear us. 1, 2, and it's now even.
Wainwright having a hard time finishing off Montero here. He has just 1 strikeout so far tonight. That was John Lackey back in the 3rd, and he has not gotten a lot of swings and misses this year. He has the lowest strikeout rate in the National League among pitchers with enough innings to qualify.
Curve missed, and he's run it full. Send or no send?
I'm a send, just because of what I just said, because of he's not striking a lot of people out. Montero, I like his chances of putting the ball in play here. We're going to have a big powwow about it here out in front of the mound. I mean, with a left-handed hitter up there, if you get a swing and a miss or call it strike 3, and with Molina behind the plate, he'd have a real clean shot at Zobrist at third base. Miggy hits the ball on the ground a fair bit.
They are not running, and that ball shot out toward the gap. Zobrist around third. He will score. It's 1-1. Montero 2 for 2 tonight.
Good at bat by Montero down in the county. He hung in there, battled. He tried to go a little backdoor breaking ball, stays on the plate, and again Montero staying inside and shooting the ball to the middle of the diamond. Zobrist so active out there on the bases. I like to watch him play. If you're a young player, you come out and you want to focus on a guy to just learn how to approach the game, never take a pitch off. Zobrist would be a good guy to keep your eye on.
First and third. Cardinals will play it double play depth up the middle. Moss holds on Montero at first. And Baez bunts, fair ball, and
go.
Molina hangs on to it. Well, it looked like Wong was in the vicinity, but was he at first?
He was kind of late getting over there.
Yeah, so Molina just decided to eat it, and it's a base hit. Wow. Soler held at third. So Molina had 2 plays, second or first, and it looked like first was the best shot, but as you see, there's nobody there.
Yeah, you see Wong, you're late coming into your picture there, but he's well towards second base.
So Baez fooled everybody.
Yeah, well, so Wong's pinching towards the middle because he's playing for a double play.
What are they looking at here?
Baez didn't square early, so that was the key to that play. If Baez squares early, Wong is able to cheat towards first base a little earlier.
Well, if the Cardinals were looking at video to see if that ball maybe hit Baez, if it had there in fair territory, he would have been called out. So it's Russell with the bases full.
Interesting how this play develops. He's just trying to push this ball out to the right side. It's actually behind him. Javier generating a lot of conversation with the bunt here the last couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. But, controversial Dana DeMuth call last night in the 8th inning. Baez was called out for running out of the baseline. On the ground. They'll only get one at second, and the Cubs lead 2-1. Fielder's choice and an RBI for Russell.
Out in front, rolls over on it a little bit, but good enough to get the run home.
First and third, 2 outs. Lackey looks at a strike. 2 bounces to Wong, and that will end the inning. Cubs score twice, leave 2. It's now 2-1. So there's got to be about, what, 60,000 sports fans downtown tonight watching Big League Baseball and NHL Stanley Cup playoff action.
Yeah. On action, a lot of toasted ravioli being eaten before the games here tonight. It's a big St. Louis thing. Toasted ravioli.
Yeah, it is. Oh, Piscotty got hit by a breaking ball.
Well, third hit batsman of the game. No intent on any of them.
That's a double play as Moss lines right to Rizzo, and he steps on the bag.
You see, now, whenever a guy hits a little flare for a base hit, and players will refer to that as a thing of beauty. This is a pitcher's thing of beauty right here. He gives up a rocket after a hit batsman, and boom, like that, he's got 2 outs.
So Molina will bat with 2 outs, nobody on for the second time tonight. And that's how you like it. Saturday against Arizona, he ended at 232 at bat, homerless drought. Big series against the Cubs in April, 5 for 10. Always seems to hit Cubs pitching, 311 in his career.
You know, the narrative surrounding Molina is that he really didn't handle the bat well when he first came into the league, but he's been a pretty good offensive player for a long time now.
Yes, he has. Not a good throw and safe. Oh, man. It should have been an easy play for Russell, but a bad throw. Is Rizzo all right? No, he just lost the ball.
Yeah,
thankfully.
I'm not sure what happened here. Addison, plenty of time with Molina going down the line. That throws a sinker over there. Maybe he had too much time. Maybe he let that influence him, and he instead of turning it loose, he tried to goose it over there. Made a bad throw.
Just glad Rizzo's okay. Molina jogged down the line.
Yeah, he's breaking it down, assuming he's out. And I'm not so sure that didn't influence Addison a little bit. Like, well, I've got plenty of time here. And
that would have been a 5-pitch inning. So there's number 6, and Grichuk looks at a strike. Oh, and 2.
It's a little muggy out there tonight. It's a warm night.
And Lackey helps out his shortstop by striking out the next hitter. That's 7 on the night for Lackey. 2-1 Cubs after 4. Top of the order, Fowler, Bryant, Zobrist. Into right, diving catch, Piscotty. Nicely done by Stephen Piscotty.
Yeah, a lot of top hand on this swing by Fowler. This ball had some top spin, sinking in a hurry. Piscotty got a very nice read and break on this ball.
So 1 out, and it's Bryant. He has grounded out and lined out. Hit a seed at Matt Holliday in his second at bat, and a fastball right down the pipe. White Sox beat the Indians, game 1 of a doubleheader in Chicago, 7-6. 3-run homer, Brett Laurie. Todd Frazier hit number 14 as well. Matt Latos is now 6-1. To third, that is just foul. Foul ball. So that win by the White Sox pushes the Indians 3.5 games off the pace in the American League Central. White Sox are 27-18.
Indians have been surging lately. Pretty tightly packed bunch there in the AL Central, except for the Twins, who are 14.5 back.
To Bryant.
You'll see how they're working Bryant. His first at bat, the very first pitch he saw was a fastball up and in. So they've tried to establish it, now working primarily away in this at bat.
Wainwright drafted by the Atlanta Braves in 2000. 29th pick in the first round. Traded to St. Louis prior to 2004. Following year made his major league debut. And he walked him. You mentioned pitched in relief late in 2006. He became their closer. Right on through the playoffs as they won the World Series.
He's had an outstanding career of 125 wins, 70 losses, a 3.08 earned run average. Another well-earned free pass by Chris Bryant.
Wainwright had Tommy John surgery in 2011. As JD mentioned, missed most of last year with an Achilles injury. And the pitch over but low. He had 12 starts in 2014 in which he allowed no runs.
Finished runner-up for Cy Young on a couple of occasions, did he not?
Yeah, he has been in the top 3 in the voting 4 times. Cubs have 2 of the top 5 spots in on-base percentage. We'll see Odubel Herrera in the Phillies this weekend at Wrigley. Pitcher's strike, 2-1. When we say pitcher strike, quality strike, average fan out there who may not think about strikes in that regard, what do we mean?
Well, if a hitter's looking for something to drive and a hitter's count like that, that's not it. You know, it's either on the corner or the bottom of the knees.
There's another one.
It's out of the what I like to refer to as the happy zone. You know, and you know, a guy like Zobrist who has such a keen eye, he's not going to offer it that pitch, maybe ever, but certainly not until he gets a couple of strikes.
Two very quality strikes in this at bat. Still 2-2.
And I think that puts the running game back in play too. If you're Joe Madden, if you want to, you can play a little run and hit here. Trust Zobrist to either put the ball in play or fight a tough pitch off. Again, you know, Molina changes the math. I think he would definitely have him on the move if he goes full here. That's something Wainwright's trying to avoid. A backdoor cutter maybe. Looked like Molina asked for a changeup, and Wainwright shook him off. He doesn't use his changeup that often, but that's what a guy like Zobrist will do. You got to show him something different.
Three and two.
You see Molina, the way he frames the ball, he sets up off that outside corner and he kind of pulls his right shoulder back to give the umpire a look. See how he presents that ball? That ball's off the plate. But by the time that, you know, that we get the freeze frame, he's pulled it subtly back into the strike zone.
Bryant goes. Ball four. Back-to-back walks.
That's just good work by two real professional hitters. Good solid approach. Both guys not panicking down in the count. And Wainwright knows it. He knows he's not likely to get a chase there from Zobrist. So it wasn't like he was trying to get him to chase a bad ball. He just wasn't able to get that curveball back to the corner. Wainwright really searching for answers early this season. He struggled out of the gate. He's gotten better and better with his last 2 or 3 starts. His best start was last time out. But I think unless he finds a way to strike some people out, it's going to be a tough go for him.
1-1. Cubs took the lead with 2 in the 4th, trying to add on in the 5th. Curveball, Molina and Wainwright both thought they had it. And Manny Gonzalez didn't like it, so 2-1. Wainwright to the plate, and Rizzo breaks his bat, but a base hit to left. Bryant will score. 3-1. Anthony Rizzo needed that, and he picks up his 35th RBI.
Go back with a 2-seam fastball running away from Anthony. Hits it off the end of the bat. Splits the bat in half, but he's strong like bull. Muscles it out there to left for an RBI single.
So they make Wainwright pay for the back-to-back walks. Here's Soler. Zobrist now at second, Rizzo at first. Swing and a miss.
Premeditated, perhaps. Cutter was never on the plate.
Wainwright has allowed 6 hits. He's walked 2. He's hit a batter, and that was Soler his last time up.
Cubs have faced some pretty good resumes lately. You think about it, going back to the Giants. And now Peavy obviously is not pitching well, but he's a former Cy Young Award winner. Matt Cain has had a great career. Bumgarner last night. Wainwright here tonight.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on the curve. Well, just his second strikeout of the night.
And not a good AB there for Jorge. Didn't really make the adjustment. They started him with that cut fastball well off the plate that he offered at. I'm guessing the Blues just scored?
Yeah, I think so. A random cheer just went up, and then we heard kind of that goal sound effect.
Oh, 3-2.
Oh, and 1 on Montero. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI.
Let's see if they try to crowd him. He's been going the other way. 1 to left, 1 to left center. That time they get the backdoor breaking ball call. Sometimes a diamond, sometimes a stone.
And Wainwright gets out of the inning having allowed 1 run and trails 3-1. Wong, Wainwright, Carpenter 8-9-1 against John Lackey. He's trying to beat the Cardinals for the 2nd time this season here in St. Louis. Wong hits one a ton way foul to right. 1-1. Talking with Chris Bosio before the game, and he likes seeing Lackey pitch against his former team. Feels that he's the kind of guy who will channel that adrenaline in the right direction. For the most part, the Cubs have just stayed in line. They had a couple of rainouts, so Kyle Hendricks got bumped a couple of weeks ago, but other than that, you know, with the off days, they haven't really messed with the order at all.
Well, no, you got 5 guys that are pitching well. Why mess with it? You know, the talking points from way back in spring training was the hope was that this would be a very long season, deep into the postseason. So, you know, they got a little slower start. The veteran guys did in spring training, held them back a little bit to try to save some bullets. So same thing here. I think any chance you get to give a guy an extra day, it makes sense. So they've taken advantage of those opportunities to do just that.
Yeah, normally when you hear a long season, that means bad season, but you mean literally a long.
Literally, yeah.
Maybe an extra month. Yeah. 2-2. Another broken bat. Ball rolled to Rizzo. Lackey over to cover.
Some good pitching going on here tonight, or either that or some inferior wood. Check out the EMC Legend Suite located on the Nuveen Investment Suite level. Not only will your group enjoy a gourmet food and beverage package, they'll also receive a pregame tour and a visit from a former Cub player during the game. For more information, visit Cubs.com/premier.
Wainwright with a sac bunt. His first time up. He's going to try to park one in the seats this time. Bounce to Baez. Backhanded play on the short hop. 2 gone.
That was a tricky little hop there for Baez. Didn't really have time to set his feet to square up and get behind that ball. It was all about just good hands. Maybe caught a little bit flat-footed too initially.
Rizzo again to Lackey. Another 8-pitch inning. That's 16 pitches the last 2 innings combined for Lackey.
Any little thing you can do to contribute and start feeling good about yourself.
Right down Main Street on Baez for a strike. 3-1 Cubs. 6th inning. Jammed him and he popped it up. Shallow in the grass in the outfield. It's hauled in by Wong.
And you'll notice watching, well, of course, Molina, he's been around so long and his pitchers really trust him. They like almost never shake him off. And he and Wainwright have worked together for so long now. It's going to be impressive to watch.
Pitch number 90 on the night.
I had a teammate, and you played psychological games with yourself in this sport. And I had a teammate in the minor leagues, Tommy Barrett. You probably remember his brother Marty played for the Red Sox.
Yeah, sure.
Tommy got a little big league time in, but as a minor league player, he was a real good hitter. His philosophy was he took his at bats in like 25 at bat buckets, and just his goal was to go 8 for 25. But once those 25 ABs were over, whether he was 12 for 25 or 0 for 25, that was done. So you could kind of move on mentally.
Right. And a lesser-known brother grin end. Curve is low. 2-2.
I want to go on the record saying I did guffaw at your joke. I don't know if people heard it at home, but there was a guffaw there.
Line drive, base hit. That's good to see.
Yeah, so he got the RBI, and now he gets himself a knock. And we say time and time again, a struggling hitter, a lot of times you're better off if you just think middle away. Just try to stay on the ball, try to shoot it the other way.
Carpenter already in, expecting Lackey to try to bunt, and he squares early. Oh, 0-1.
Starts off good in a good athletic bunting position. Used to be, we were taught, and you still hear it, if you're trying to prevent a guy from getting a bunt down, elevated fastballs. But I think breaking balls, especially a sharp breaking ball, I think it's harder to bunt. I think a high fastball is easier for a guy to lay off of in a bunting situation. You have to change the angle of the bat to get to the breaking ball.
That's a strikeout as he bunts foul on the 0-2.
Folks, join the Cubs season ticket holder waiting list. Do it today. Claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list.
Dexter 0 for 3, but got robbed of a hit. Nice grab out and right by Piscotty in the 5th. Tigers lead the Phillies 5-4, bottom of the 7th in Detroit. interleague action.
Mets and Nationals getting together again, and the Mets getting the best of it tonight, 7-1. Middle of the 6th in D.C. Cespedes, Wright, and Walker have all hit home runs for New York.
If the Mets win that game, they'll be within a half game of the lead in the East.
So the Mets came into this game second in the league in home runs hit. Or excuse me, first in the league in home runs hit, just ahead of the Cardinals at 3 tonight. Cespedes leads the way with 15. Walker's having a big power year. He hit his 11th. And number 5 for David Wright.
So the Blue Jays beat the Twins yesterday. Jose Bautista hit his 14th career home run in 21 games at Target Field.
Isn't he due to be a free agent at the end of the year?
That's very possible.
Yeah. Twins might want to write him a big check.
The baseball joke there is always, but he doesn't get to face Twins pitching. Right? Yes, he is a free agent. Runner goes as Fowler fouls.
So you think it's more about the pitching than the venue?
No, I'm just saying.
Probably right.
It's a little of both, probably. And you had the John Gibbons note. Well, the Blue Jays had a wild week, didn't they, in terms of ejections?
Yeah, I think it was something like Sunday through Sunday. It was like ejected, ejected, suspended, 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 ejected, ejected for Gibbons. Josh Donaldson hit a home run and then stared at the Twins dugout because they were not getting along, and so they threw at him in his next at bat.
Curve is low, and the throw on the money, but Diaz couldn't hang on to it. He might be hurt. I don't know if he jammed his hand or thumb. Trying to grab the ball as Russell was sliding into him. So Mike Matheny and one of the Cardinals athletic trainers will head out to check on their shortstop.
Yeah, it looks relatively harmless, but clearly he's in pain.
Now, that last look looked like maybe the left hand was turned kind of, if you had your palm down, that thumb kind of going under, maybe tweaking his wrist.
Yeah, that's my best guess too. It's thumb or wrist.
Well, Russell's shoulder kind of took the glove of Diaz with it. He's going to tough it out here for now. Meantime, 2-2 on the hitter.
Second stolen base for Russell this year. Last couple innings, Cubs have really made Wainwright work awfully hard.
Missed again, ball 4. That might be all she wrote. Here comes Mike Matheny.
Wainwright doesn't want to make eye contact with him. He's talking with Molina as Matheny got to the mound and talking about what he wants to do with the next hitter. This is a bit of a gamble on the part of Matheny. He's got O out there in that bullpen, who's been awfully good, tough on right-handed hitters with that slide ball. Bryant's getting his fourth look, at Wainwright here tonight, and he's seen him well. Hit a rocket to left back in the third, worked a walk last time. This is just a manager deferring to a veteran pitcher saying, all right, you tell me you got him, I'm going to let you go. And it looked like they were trying to go back in, and it drifted back out over the plate on him. He just made the perfect pitch from his point of view, and Brian just spit on it, and that's very frustrating. He's thrown a lot of pitches since the fourth. He's working really hard.
I was looking at Bryant's numbers before the game. His great stats. He is at the moment having almost the exact same season he had last year, except for one thing: striking out less.
Yeah, way less.
Everything else is almost right on the button, and that's good.
Yeah, and he's hitting for power, home and road. Remember last year he had so many of his home runs at home. Right. He's hit as many on the road this year as he hit all last year on the road.
Rookie of the year last season. Tapped off the end of the bat. Wainwright will pick it up and just take it by himself to end the inning. Yeah, no sophomore slump for Chris Bryant. 3-1 Cubs. Fun today at travelwisconsin.com. Hamel Waka, Arrieta Martinez. All 6 starting pitchers in the series right-handed.
Speaking of Waka, today is the anniversary of the release of Pac-Man.
JD on top of his Segway game tonight. Diaz tweaked his left hand or wrist on that Russell stolen base, but stayed in the game. They do not want to lose his offense. 1-2.
Pretty free and easy swinging in the bat there. This kid impressive. He really lets that bat fly.
Cardinals have one hit. That was a Randall Grichuk leadoff single in the third. He would eventually score on a sac fly by Diaz. Gave the Cardinals a short-lived advantage.
Yeah, and that ball actually off the glove of Ben Zobrist, but you would never argue that it was a play that he should have made. So the scoring was correct, but Lackey that close to working on a no-hitter here in the 6th.
Fowler on the move for the out.
The best way to get to Wrigley Field is by using public transportation. The Cubs offer a free bike check that's now located by the Addison Red Line station. And if you prefer to drive, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com.
Lackey to Holiday. Base hit, right field. Little flare.
Well, it's been a rough go for Holiday lately, and he punched out first 2 times tonight.
You referenced it in our open, JD. I mean, the tying run now at the plate. This is a team that can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of guys. You know, nobody's hit 12 or 15 home runs, but they've got depth in the lineup. They've got power throughout the batting order.
Well, they're hacking away early in the count. Piscotty will pop out to Zobrist. 2 outs. That'll leave it up to Brandon Moss.
And check out those numbers. You know, he was good in April too. He had remember his first start he gave up 6, but you really, when you break him down, he's maybe had 4 or 5 big innings against them all year. You know, those 2 starts where he gave up 6. But other than that, man, he's been nails.
Well, you wonder if John Mozeliak will get any phone calls from any members of the Mets front office, right? With Duda going down for a bit. They've got Moss and Adams, a couple of left-handed hitting first basemen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Don't know if there's a match there, but
what would the Cardinals be shopping for? Pitching depth?
Probably.
I'll tell you, speaking of the Mets, the guy that's really impressive is that young Conforto. Saw him last year, but he's off to a nice start. I saw him the other night. I was flipping around somewhere, and I watched one of his at-bats, and he got on a letter-high fastball and just rode it out of the ballpark.
Eric Campbell playing first tonight. In the air to left, deep but playable for Soler. And the inning is over. 7th inning around the corner. Cubs lead 3-1. Final Boss is on. It's not a new network television show. It's a nickname for Song Wan Oh. He also is known as Stone Buddha.
Stone Cold Buddha. He has been really good here for the Cardinals. Stocky guy, good arm. He can get to 95 with the fastball. Slider is his best pitch. Gets a lot of swings and misses, especially against the righties.
Well, quality pitches to Zobrist. 33 years old. Oh. Signed with the Cardinals for this season. From Korea, pitched a lot in Japan. And Zobrist pops it up. And it's Carpenter for the out.
So it was O against Zoe, and now it's O against Rizzo. Don't you know?
Well, John Sterling in there. I like that. What was the, what do you know? Robinson Cano?
Cano, yeah.
Right.
Robbie Cano.
Rizzo swings through a heater at 95. .357 career saves. And Korea and Japan combined. Two bounces to Carpenter in the shift, and he'll get him. As he pitched in Asia since 2009. One to Soler.
Not a real tall guy, 5'10", 205. Very sturdily built, though. Kind of an old-fashioned drop and drive type delivery.
.510", 205.
Here's that slider. Right-handed hitters have a very difficult time recognizing that pitch. Spin a lot of clubs. Ooh, that's inside.
Oh, no, Manny. Cubs go down in order in the seventh. Caesar is in for Soler in left here in the seventh.
Cubs bullpen has been on a very nice roll of late, but no need yet. Not the way John Lackey's going along.
Molina with a ground ball base hit in the right center.
Again, first pitch swinging. If you're a Cardinal hitter, why not? You throw so many first pitch strikes, you might as well go up there and take a whack at one. Especially at this stage of the game. Early on, you might think, well, let's take some pitches, see if we can get the pitch count up. But once you get into the later innings, that's no longer an issue. 71 pitches made by Lackey here, working in the seventh.
Grichuk pops it up. Cardinals continue to swing away early as Zobrist makes the catch. Left-hander Kevin Segrist.
Change piece.
One and two. Adams for the pitcher on deck. Molina with his lead at first, and Wong swings and misses. Two down. First strikeout since the fourth for Lackey, who fanned 5 in a row early in the game. He's now got 8.
Change up, and then a couple of cutters or sliders to get Wong. Wow, so the big fella here is Put him together a pretty nice year, and he's really doing a lot of damage against right-handed pitching.
And the Cardinals pinch hitters have been deadly. 26 hits in the pinch, leading the majors, 7 more than anybody else. 8 home runs, 21 RBIs to lead the majors. They're hitting .351 as a team, slugging .730. And Adams a big part of that. Cardinals losing both John Lackey and Jason Hayward via free agency to the Cubs. And in jeopardy of losing twice here early to Lackey. Oh, that ball is hit a ton to center. Fowler will not have a play, and we're tied. Nine pinch home runs for the Cardinals this year. 3-3.
That's an unbelievable number to do that much damage off the bench. And boy, John has been so sharp all night long. Has one get away from him. A little backdoor breaking ball. It settles right over the heart of the plate. About bell tie for Adams.
Ford home run replay. And Adams pretty pumped up. Yeah, it felt like John way out pitched Wainwright, but even saying that, it was just a 2-run ball game against a team that hits for a ton of power. Two and one.
Yeah, and the irony of it is, had John not been so good and so efficient, you probably have the bullpen working and you're ready to react, maybe with a left-hander there to Adams. But the way he'd been going along, Joe saw no need to have anybody up. Understandable. Just the first home run by a left-handed hitter against Lackey this year.
Swing and a miss on the changeup to end the inning, but the damage done. Pinch hitter Matt Adams with a 2-run blast, and we're tied at 3. The 400-foot-plus home run to straightaway center, and now left-hander Kevin Segrist will work for St. Louis.
Yeah, Segrist having a nice year. 2.65 ERA. He's cut that walk rate way down. He's only walked 3 in 17 innings. He's allowed 11 hits, 3 long balls. He struck out 25 along the way. A hard thrower. Routinely in the mid-90s. And a real good changeup. Does throw a slider as well, but you think of the Segrist, you think fastball changeup primarily.
Montero, Baez, and Russell. Pitcher spot due 4th, so we see movement in the Cubs bullpen as a result. Lackey's only made 87 pitches through 7, so I would not say he's fatigued. But you gotta score a run here in a tie game. And Adam Warren is up. 2-1. Montero making his 17th start. Recently went through an 0 for 21, but tonight he's 2 for 3. Three and one, and if he reaches, because of the 3 catcher setup, you could possibly pinch run for him.
And I like, leaving the lefty in there against Seagrass. Kind of takes away his changeup a little bit, takes away one of his best weapons.
There's ball 4. And Travis Wood has taken off his sweatshirt in the dugout, and he is going to run for Montero. So Travis Wood, the bases loaded walk last Wednesday in Milwaukee, and got the win that night. Will pinch run here, try to score the go-ahead run.
Travis pitched in the ball game yesterday. He's been pretty busy of late, so a down day for him. So down day in terms of the mound, but you see him out there at first base.
Cubs bullpen has been really good lately, in particular, and they're going to need them to be good again tonight. Oh, that got a piece of Manny Gonzalez. Says, just make sure my clicker is okay. Glancing blow off the mask. We have made a lot of progress, JD. Just a few years ago, trainer would never even come out to check on him. You just give him 10 seconds, and he'd say, "I'm all right."
Catcher would walk out to the mound to buy him a little time. But
those subconcussive blows, got to be really, really careful. And I think MLB's done a really good job making sure umpires and catchers are okay after they get hit.
And Mike Matheny knows all about that. He dealt with concussion issues. David Ross.
He told me last year there was an 18-month period at the end of his career he, to this day, does not remember. It's like they want some water for Gonzalez before we continue. I mean, think about that, a year and a half that he couldn't account for.
Yeah. That's scary stuff. Now, I wish I couldn't remember the last 18 months of my career.
But not for that reason.
Yeah.
Right. The problem with these headshots is that most guys in every sport, they're going to say, "I'm fine," right? And that's why you have the quiet room where they do the tests. But just hope that later on tonight he doesn't have any other symptoms.
Yeah, and with the catcher as active as Molina back there, the way he moves around, he'll really slide well off the plate, and that leaves the umpire vulnerable, and You just saw a great example of it on that last pitch. Molina slid way over, well off that outside corner, and Gonzalez was pretty exposed there. So Gonzalez has two options: he'll hold his ground or slide out there with Molina and perhaps have his, his concept of the strike zone skewed a little bit.
Wood will hold as Molina tumbled pouncing on that pitch. It got away and then tried to make a graceful recovery, and I think he did.
Yeah, he kind of does a little blowout and pops up. Somehow John Belushi comes to mind.
You got to stick the landing. Pulled to left. Holiday in. And he's got it. Russell 1 for 3 with an RBI and a stolen base. Working his way out of a slump. Tommy La Stella now in the on deck circle. Check swing, bouncer to second. And they turn it. No, save. And I bet the Cardinals are going to ask for a replay here. Very close at first. Russell called safe to keep the inning alive. We'll see. No. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know that they can overturn it. Look pretty good. Look safe-ish.
Oh man. Yep, he's going to call for the headsets, and this looks like the classic.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
50-50. Yeah, you get out of the inning. It's the Forsythe technology replay review.
Yeah, this is like that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? This is the manager's lifeline. I'm going to use my lifeline here. I'm going to call New York. Throw just a little bit behind Diaz, maybe upsets the timing of that play a little bit. And that's in the other part. The other piece of it too is with the neighborhood play. The shortstop's got to stay home a little bit longer to make sure they have the ball and the base at the same time.
It looked like Diaz did.
Yeah, he did. And the point being that, without that, he might have been a little more aggressive flying across the bag. He might have cheated a little bit. You see, there's no cheating going on there.
So the call likely stands. Stands are confirmed. They're going to stick with the original call. And it is La Stella for Lackey, who can still get a win. In order to do that, the Cubs would have to score here in the 8th. It's not going to happen as Grichuk makes the catch and the inning is over. Midway in the 8th, 3-3. Adam Warren into pitch.
And just second appearance for Adam on the road trip. And for the year, outstanding numbers: a 1.72 ERA, 15 2/3. He's walked 10, struck out 14. Now, walk number kind of gets your attention. But a lot of times it's just situational walks. He's pitching around guys, got a base open, or a situation where he's got to be real careful with a dangerous hitter. He's got very good control, has a real good idea of what he's doing out there.
So he'll face 2, 3, 4. Diaz, Holiday, and Piscotty. All right-handed batters. Cardinals tied it on a pinch hit 2-run homer by Matt Adams in the bottom of the 7th. Kick in the pitch, 2-0.
Trying to get Diaz to expand to offer at that slider off the outside corner. Now he's in a bit of a pickle, down 2-0. Has to make a pitch here to get back into the count.
Off speed for a strike, 2-1. John Lackey, 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. He walked 1, struck out 9. Three and 1. Bullpen with an 0.72 earned run average over the last 8 games. 2 earned runs in 25 innings. Three times this year, including Saturday, the bullpen has gone at least 5 innings without allowing a run in a game. They did 7 shutout frames on Wednesday in Milwaukee, the 13-inning win.
Adam pitched one of those innings. That's the last time he worked.
Fly ball to center field. It's Fowler. So 1 out for Holiday. Cardinals closer Trevor Rosenthal is up. From the stretch with nobody on, the 1-0. So Warren behind Diaz, and same with Holiday. That's a strike. Cubs lost 2 of 3 in San Francisco over the weekend. The Giants, now having won 10 of their last 11, are hosting the Padres this evening. Drew Pomeranz and Johnny Cueto. They're scoreless in the 2nd. Liner to right. It's Bryant. 2 down.
Well, Pomeranz pitched a very nice game against the Cubs at Wrigley when the Padres were in town. He struck out 10 in 6 innings. All the winning the Giants have been doing lately, primarily because of their starting pitching. They haven't been scoring a lot of runs, but they've been really pitching it well.
Tigers a final 5-4 over the Phillies. Miguel Cabrera with 2 home runs. They hit 4 solo shots and have now won 7 of 8. Has this stretch coincided with the Ausmus sweatshirt on home
meltdown?
home plate?
Probably, yeah.
They're back to 500. Phillies don't lose 1-run games, at least very often. They did tonight. They're still 14-4 in 1-run decisions. One and 1 on Piscotty. Cardinals cleanup man. Ross.
Yeah, took a bite out of David.
Got nicked by that foul ball.
Well, that's the other part of it, too. There has to be a correlation between velocity in the modern game and concussion issues for catchers and umpires, right?
I think so. Called strike 3. So Warren works a 1-2-3-8, and not an easy trio to navigate. Closer in a tie game, Trevor Rosenthal.
He is 8 out of 9 in save tries so far this year with a .257 earned run average. He's got like Segrist, only from the other side, and maybe a little more giddy up on the fastball, but he too has a very good changeup. And so you see those similar reverse splits. He's actually been better against left-handed hitters than righties in terms of the batting average anyway. Rosenthal debuted with the Cardinals in 2012. Moved into the closer's role in 2014, saved 45 games that year, 48 saves last season.
Oh, and 1 on Fowler.
Dexter 0 for 4 with 4 punch-outs against Rosenthal in his career. Make a little contact, maybe something good will happen.
Home run swing that time, 1 and 2. Stacy Corey Caleb watching and hoping the Cubs can pull one out here late. Molina got hit on the mask. Wow. Fastball a little bit off the plate. Decision pitch here, and Fowler sends one into center for a leadoff single. So on twice in 5 tries tonight.
Oh, yeah, Rosenthal aggressive with the 3-2 fastball and Fowler ready for it. And that's what happens when you have the reputation, an earned reputation of taking borderline pitches and willing to accept your walk. You're going to get some pitches to hit in counts like that.
A hefty home run leaderboard for the Cubs. Those were road home runs for the Cubs. The 0-1 to Bryant misses. Strike two.
Pretty firm, 97. Got to get that front foot down early against a guy like Rosenthal.
Two pitch. Called strike three. Not much you can do with that, can you? 98 on the outer reaches.
Yeah, and then there will be those who will say, well, it's too close to take. Well, I would argue that why not take it? Hope it's called the ball. Live to fight another day. Unless you've got an umpire back there that has proven that he's just going to be huge. And you know he's going to expand, and that hasn't been the case here consistently with Gonzalez tonight. At times, yes, but not consistently, not enough to force hitters to go out there to try to make contact.
Zobrist. It's a foul pop out of play. Sellout tonight, 45,008. Seventh sellout of the season, and that's also with a jam-packed Scott Trade Center down the street for playoff hockey. Blues lost tonight, 6-3 to the Sharks. Fowler able to get back. Moss kept that ball out of right.
If he doesn't at least knock it down, Fowler standing on third base. There's that good changeup.
1-2. You know you've made a quality pitch when you get Zobrist to swing and miss.
Yeah, he doesn't swing and miss all that often, and almost never in the strike zone.
Hooked, foul.
Came back with the changeup. That one a little up, a little in compared to the last one, and Roberts put a good swing on it.
Ground ball towards center. It's through. Fowler around second. On his way to third. He'll get there without a throw. Ben Zobrist with his third hit tonight.
This guy is incredible. 3 hits plus a walk. Ball running down and away from him. Right back to the middle. Good aggressive base running by Fowler. Grichuk thought about it. Would have been justified to take a shot at him at third base. With one out here in the 9th inning, he decided not to.
First and third, one out in a tie game. Big moment.
Cardinals opting to keep the infield back, playing for 2.
Fouled away. No exaggerated shift against Rizzo, although the shortstop Diaz pretty close to second.
You probably figure with Rosenthal's velocity, Rizzo less likely to exploit that hole on the right side of the infield. So they're more defending the middle. Molina was talking more to the infielders than Rosenthal in that meeting.
Fowler at third, Zobrist at first. And a 1-1 to Anthony. And that's going to be a double play as Carpenter makes the catch, and that soft liner doubles off Fowler at third, and we remain tied. Well, once Fowler got halfway to home, he was in no man's land. You might as well keep going.
Flair, a double play ball, and Dexter Fowler on third base. His responsibility to be aggressive coming down that line, give himself a chance to score on a ground ball. And as Len said, halfway down towards home plate, he just decided there was no way he was going to make it back, so he gambles, hopes the ball's going to drop. It does not. The Cardinals get their double play.
Yeah, because once he made his first move, that hesitation, if he tries to go back to third, he's out anyway. And if Carpenter drops the ball, he can't score. So Warren will try to get this one into extras as Moss takes a strike. Strikeout. He lined into a double play and flied to left. It's like Pedro Strop has started to throw in the Cubs bullpen. And Jonathan Broxton in the Cardinal pen.
That ball's floated anywhere else on the infield. Fowler gets back.
Yep. Warren's 1-2. We'll try it again. Here it is, 2-2. Molina waiting in the wings. Popped him up. Let's see if Ross has room. He doesn't. That one hit in the third row. Swing and a miss. Change up.
Change up. That's why Warren is likely to be a good rotation piece at some point. He's got multiple weapons.
Molina with one out.
Because Molina does not run well, that allows Ben Zobrist to play in shallow right field, almost like he was a pull left-handed hitter. He shoots the ball the other way quite frequently. You see the outfielders are shifted around that way, and Zobrist playing like a lefty slugger.
1-1 the count. Warren throws on a bounce to the shortstop. Russell, this time no hesitation. Remember the last time, or 2 at-bats ago, Molina kind of jogged down the line and Russell made a throwing error. Not this time. 2 outs. And it's Grichuk. So while the Cubs could not get to Rosenthal, if they can get this one into extra innings, you can at least say they've eliminated the best pitcher out of their bullpen.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not just him, it's Segris and 0-2, 2 other very good weapons, late inning type guys.
Cubs still have Strop and Rondon and a host of others available.
And they got a short start from Jaime Garcia yesterday, so Bowman out there in the pen probably not available. He threw 50 pitches yesterday.
Two and one. Clayton Richard now with Strop. Two. Deep drive the other way. Bryant back at the wall, and this game is over. Randall Grichuk, an opposite field home run, and the Cardinals walk off 4-3.
Never fun to get walked off against, but on a night like tonight when John Lackey was so good for so long, it just felt like a W, and this difficult road trip continues. Grichuk with the heroics for the Cardinals, showing very good power the other way.
Yeah, I think it would be fair to say the Cardinals won a game they probably had no business winning, but a couple of big late home runs.
Yeah, and that's what power does for you. Adams comes off the bench to hit yet another pinch hit home run for the Cardinals. They had a bunch of them. And then Grichuk felt kind of harmless. 2 outs, nobody on. Warren throwing the ball well. But Grichuk got him.
Toast of the game is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot, and it's Randall Grichuk. Final swing of the night. And the Cubs have their first 3-game losing streak of the season. Binny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. Rosenthal gets the win. Warren takes the loss. And the Cardinals have evened up the season series at 2 games apiece. We're back here tomorrow, 5:30, for our pregame coverage on CSN for Game 2 of this series against the Cardinals. For JD and our entire crew here in St. Louis, Len Casper with your final